Hey guys, Caleb here. Welcome back. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Helps a lot. Today we got script and properties. It finally looks like some actual scripting, some actual game development stuff. Let's jump right into it. So before we begin, we got to insert a part into our workspace. Remember the workspace is in the Explorer tab. It's one of our services. I'm gonna hit this little plus sign here. And I'm gonna search up part. Look at that. There is our part. How cool is that? All right, and I'm gonna open up a script. Don't mind that. I made another copy of this video, but I got too far deep and there's a lot of stuff that I didn't teach that I was using. Ignore that completely. Alright, so now we have the part, now we have a script. So, how do we script the part? So the very first thing we need to do is we need to reference that part. So we know the part's in the workspace. Alright. So how do we get the part? So the first thing you really want to do is that we're going to be editing a lot of properties on it. So you don't want to keep referencing the part over and over. So we're going to save it as a variable. So how do you make a variable? Well, we did that before. Local, we'll call it part. We'll set it equal to something. So this is how you reference literally anything. But in this case, we're referencing a part. But if you want to get stuff, this is the way to do it. So your first keyword you want to use is game. Now you might be asking, what's game? Well, everything, all of this, the explorer, the properties, it's all within the game. So you say game, and then within the game, we want to access the workspace. So we'll say game.workspace. I'll hit tab. I'm just hitting tab on this, you guys. I don't have like really fast typing skills. It starts to come up, so I'm just hitting tab, workspace. All right. So now we have access to the workspace, and we know the parts within the workspace. So we'll say dot again, and we'll call it by part. So this references this part in our workspace that we can see and move around. And we saved it as a variable. Because otherwise we would have to keep typing this and then saying dot something to manipulate one of its properties. So much easier just to save it as a variable. Once you start making games, which will be very soon, you'll be doing that all the time. Alright, so what can we edit? Well, anything, honestly. We can edit anything. So let's change this part's name. So we'll say part.name, and then it tells you what it takes in. So as I was typing it, it takes in a string. All right, so we'll say part.name is equal to, and then a string. We'll say my part. And now you're probably like, well, Caleb, that didn't edit. We haven't run the game yet. So once the game is run, all these will take effect. So even while we're doing this now, this will stay the exact same until we actually run the game. But this is how you reference and edit some properties. So you just call the object itself, which is game.workspace.part, but we save it as a variable, and then dot name. Well, dot something, and that something is its property. So we can go in and let's mess with its reflectance. So we'll say part dot reflectance, excuse me. And same thing, it tells you, all right, it's a number. And it even tells you what it is, and there's documentation on it. We'll set it to, I don't know what a really high number would be. Okay, we'll set it to 0.5. I'm going to change this to 0 so it all shows at once. I was just seeing, I don't want to set it to like 100 and like break the game or something like that. So I know I mentioned before that this is actually a double, not a number. I didn't know that Roblox classifies all integers, doubles, or floats, like the decimal places, all as numbers. So that's just a number. And then let's go ahead and let's edit something else too, just for fun. Let's do a Boolean one. All right, so canCollide. So I think I explained canCollide. If I walk up to it, I can actually walk through it if the canCollide is off. So we'll say part.canCollide. And this one you can see it takes a Boolean. So we'll set it to false. So now when I run the game, the name of the part should be my part. Its reflectance should be set to 0.5. and then its canCollide should just be set to false. Pretty cool. Pretty straightforward so far. Let's see. Hello? That's weird. Did I change something I wasn't supposed to change? Alright, so this right here too. I don't want to get into this, but I might have just did. When I call the parent of something, this is just where it goes. So right now the part is a child of the workspace. So I just set its parent to the workspace so it shows. Because if you want to see something, it needs to be in the workspace. If I had it anywhere else. Okay, that's really weird. 1 second. Alright, sorry guys. So when I turn off the canCollide, it's not just with me. It was clipping through this, and then it was falling out of the map, and then it was just going through garbage. It was okay. So then, before we do this and all of this, so we're gonna anchor the part by editing one of its properties as well. So this will make sure that it stays in place. So we'll say part dot anchored, and it takes a boolean. We'll set equal to true. Anchored just means that there's no physics. The part just stays locked. So if you ever play a game and you see a piece floating in the air, it's locked. Or, excuse me, it's anchored. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why I just completely disregarded, but now that when we run it, there's the part. All right. So you can see it's a little reflectant, excuse me. If I go to the workspace, it's called my part. If you guys can see that right there, pretty cool. And the canCollide is off. I am walking right through it. How cool is that? Like I said, apologies for the canCollide. That I just completely overlooked that. And ignore that dot parent for now. I really didn't want to get into that. I thought that was the issue, but no, that was just a terrible moment. But yeah, that's script and properties. There's a lot more like with position, but that gets into some other stuff which I'm going to save for a later video because I want to introduce the topic as a whole. But try this out. Make some parts, edit them, change the transparency. The colors too, I'm gonna do that in a separate video because that has another thing inside of it that I don't want to get into right yet. Yeah, you can change the material, reflection, transparency, change its name. Go have fun, enjoy that. Next video, I don't know yet. I'll see about the next video. I might introduce some of like the color stuff or some of like the position stuff like that, but I'll let you guys know soon enough. Otherwise, enjoy, practice with the stuff. Make sure you really reinforce, like those if, for, while loop, stuff like that. Make sure you got it down because now it's starting to pick up a little bit. So enjoy. Have a good one, you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Discord's in the bio if you guys have any questions or want some one-on-one help. Be good.